Hi, this is Joe DeProspero from Digital Marketing, and today we are going to be going over how to make page edits to an existing page in the AEM 6.3 authoring environment. The first thing you're going to do is click on Sites to navigate to your page. So the pages are broken down by sector, so if you wanted to go to an advisory page, you click on that. If it's FRV, click on that. For the purposes of today's training, we're going to go to an advisory article page. However, for the purposes of training, we're going to click on the temp folder so we don't touch anything that's actually live or in production. And say this customer-centric business page, that's the page that we want to make changes to. You may notice that if you're clicking on it, just clicking right here on the title, that there's no editing option. It gives you the title, the name, the last person who made changes to it, etc., but it doesn't give you any editing options. That is because you need to click on the thumbnail image of that page in order to make changes to it. So click right there. Notice the options appear in the top left, one of which is edit. But this is a good time to show you the process of versioning. So if you're somebody who likes to work with versions, you like to make sure that you have a copy of the page to always revert back to in case you don't like the way that your changes worked out for you. You're going to click on Create, Version. You could enter simply the date here. If there's any additional comment you wanted to make about that version, you can enter it here. Click Create. So now you always have a version to revert back to in case things don't go so well in your editing. But now we're going to click on Edit. And it's going to bring us to our page. Now, this is a good time for me to clarify that not every page is built or looks the same because A, you're working with different kinds of content on different pages, but also because your page might be built on a different template entirely than the template we're going over today. So while most of the guidance I'm going to give you right now will be relevant across all pages, there are a couple of things that may not be relevant to you if you're not working on a specific template. So for instance, on the article page template, there are components on the page that are not editable on the page itself. And I know that can be confusing. So um, you can pay special attention here if you work with article page templates. The article page template, the thumbnail image or the banner image as it was known, the header and the page description and the bio card, all of those components are not editable here. They're actually editable only in page properties. But we'll get to that in a second. So as you scroll down the page, you'll see that all these other components are very clearly editable by clicking on the edit option. So you see it here, and you see it here, and you see it in the other components as well. So let's go through these one at a time so that you can be clear on how you make changes to each component. So for the rich text, you're going to click Edit. You're going to click the wrench, and that's going to be pretty much, that's going to be consistent pretty much across all components. And say you wanted to change some of the copy in here. Again, this works very similarly to how you worked with rich text in 5.6. I'm going to click on the header dropdown. I'm going to change that. And then say I want to get rid of this last line. It's actually not relevant, so I want to get rid of that. And to save the changes, click on the check mark. If you wanted to cancel the changes, you'd hit the X. Okay, so you see that that last line is gone and my header has now changed. Okay, let's go to the card component. This card component actually points to a different page entirely. It's actually a related service for this page, but all of these types of components that point to another page that you're promoting will all basically work the same type of way. The same function is involved. So you're going to click on Configure and see how there's this path and then there's the folder with the magnifying glass. Basically, all components that point to a different page are going to work this way. So you're going to click on Browse, and you're simply going to navigate to your other page. So say I wanted to change the service page to Modeling and Analytics. Save the change. Okay, and now you see that your new card is displayed. The page list is a component that's used across many pages because it is a nice way to display related content to the page that you're building or have built. And there are two primary ways to build the page list. That is either by child pages, meaning all the pages that exist under one specific parent page, or a fixed list, which allows you to cherry pick the pages you want to promote. So in this specific instance, it's a fixed list. So say I wanted to change this top option right here. This page is no longer relevant. I want to change to a different page the same way you did with the other component. You click on the folder with the magnifying glass and say, I want to change this to a framework for success. And you see that the build list using fixed list, child pages, descendants is also here. There's any number of ways you can build this, but it's basically either fixed list or child pages. Those are the primary ones. The way they are displayed, uh, so if I wanted to change this to news and image as opposed to teasers, I could do that. You can customize it in a variety of ways, and you're going to click Done once you're done. Okay, so you see that I changed the way that the component is going to be viewed, and you can go in here and change that 3 or 4 or 5 different times if you want, and then see what you like best. And that's the beauty of this. Many of these components, a lot of customizable options for you. So say you're on an article page, and this again, this may not be relevant to your specific page template, but say you're on an article page and you needed to change the thumbnail image, the bio card, and either the header or the page description. You do that in page properties. And page properties is also where you will tag your page so that it appears in other related content. So you're going to click on page information, open properties. This will land you in the basic tab of page properties. So there are many pieces of the puzzle here that can be changed up, but I'm just going to go to what I believe is relevant for most pages. So the path to the bio page. This is relevant, again, not across all templates, but on the article page it is. So this is the person who's going to be displayed under the lights in the top right of the page, prominently displayed. So say I wanted to change that. You're going to click on the folder with the magnifying glass and say we wanted to change it to somebody whose last name starts with a C. Here's something that's important. All of the pages are alphabetized. So if the person's last name is Carson, it will be in the C folder. However, they're not alphabetized within that folder. So once you're in the C folder, if you don't feel like scrolling through the entire list, you can hit Control F on your keyboard, start entering the last name, and the person's last name will highlight in orange, making it easier to find. So I'm going to change that to James's name. And the page description is located down here. So this is important for a few reasons. In this template, it's not only the copy that lists under the header in the top left, this is also the copy that will appear if your page is listed in related content on another page. So if your page is brought up in a page list, this is the copy that's going to appear there. So say we wanted to take disruption out of there, add a comma. So we've done that. And now say we wanted to change the thumbnail image on the page. And this is also important to note. Not every template will have that thumbnail slash banner image across the top of the template, but all pages need to have a thumbnail image because that is the image that is going to be associated with your page if your page is referenced in a list on another page. So we're going to click thumbnail, going to click browse like we did on all the other components. It's also important to note if you're changing a thumbnail image, it's important to remember or have it written down somewhere what your file name is for that image. And it's important to, when you're adding something to the DAM, the Digital Asset Manager, that you name it in a way that is very specific and easy to remember. It helps if you take whatever is in the image and just spell it out in the name so that if you're looking for something later, you can easily search for that. So in this instance, I'm going to select this one. Let's just say that's my image. I'm going to click on confirm, check mark, and then you're going to click on save and close. Okay, so I see now that my thumbnail image has changed. My bio card is now correct, and the little change I made to the page description has also taken. Now, if I want to see what this page is going to look like, you can either click on preview, or you can actually click page information and then click View as Published. This opens up in a new tab. This gives you a better idea and feel of what it's actually going to look like on the website. Then once you like what you see, to make the page live, simply click on Page Information, then select Publish Page. And you're all done.